Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a big-time Jordan Addison update coming in from Kevin Seifert, talking about his court date and how this could potentially impact him being suspended for this upcoming year. So we'll talk about that, and then also I got 5 bold predictions on the back half of today's show. But before we do it, if you guys could, hit that subscribe button because I'm already looking towards week 1 where our Minnesota Vikings are taking on the Chicago Bears. So we're starting our week 1 sub battle versus Bears Now here at Chat Sports. They have over 123,000 subs here on YouTube. We got just over 56,000. I'm not saying we're going to catch them before week 1, but at least let's help close that gap just a little bit. So if you guys aren't subscribed just yet, go down there. Please help us out here. It's a free, easy way to support the channel here at Chat Sports. So hit that subscribe button today and help us close the gap with Bears Now in total subscribers. So Kevin Seifert put out this article, I put out this tweet a couple days ago, saying Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison has a jury trial scheduled for June 16th in the Superior Court of California, per online records, in connection to his July 2024 citation for DUI. He pleaded not guilty in December. A pre-trial conference hearing was held on Monday. Now, I do want to just make one thing clear off the top, and this is very important to know. The NFL does not need a conviction in order to give a punishment. So even if, when he has that date and they view it like, yeah, he was innocent, he did nothing wrong, the NFL can still put down a punishment. This has nothing to do with what the court's going to decide. This has everything to do with how, the NFL and the Vikings organization are going to decide to handle this. But obviously if he is, found guilty, whatever the punishment is, then it will maybe help influence the NFL and the Vikings' decision on however many games to suspend Jordan Addison. But I was originally saying it was probably going to be a 3 to 4 game suspension. I would be more prepared for this being a 1 to 3 game suspension for Jordan Addison. I think if he is found not guilty and there's nothing really, serious going on, I'm assuming the Vikes or the NFL would just suspend him 1 game. But if there is something serious and it's maybe a little worse than we originally thought, maybe they suspend him the full 3 games. But I would probably take the median there. I'd probably say you get a 2-game suspension to start the year. But honestly, a 1 to 3 game suspension for Jordan Addison shouldn't change how we view the first 3 games of the season. Obviously the Bears, they got a decent secondary. Jalen Johnson's a stud, one of the best corners in the league. But besides that, there's a lot left to be desired there. But then the Falcons, one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL this past season. Vikings hung 42 points on them. And then literally the worst defense in the NFL this past year, the Cincinnati Bengals. Even if Jordan Addison is not here for these 3 games, I would still anticipate the Vikings to be very successful offensively, including the new and improved run game. It's probably going to be a whole lot of Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones at the beginning of the year. But even if the Vikings, let's just say the Bears or the Falcons take away the run, they should still be able to throw the ball at a high level. If you just remove Addison from this graphic and you just move Tai Felton down, Naylor down, Rondale Moore down, you still got 4 solid wide receivers. Jefferson's a do-it-all guy. He'll still be very impactful. And then you also got a guy like Tai Felton, Jalen Naylor, Rondale Moore. And we'll talk about them here in a second. But overall, I do think the Vikings should be more than okay without Jordan Addison. And I think Addison's a player on this roster where he's more of the cherry on top, where it's you got the cake, you got the, frosting, whatever you want to call it. And then, Addison's kind of the sprinkles in the cherry. Do you need him? Yes, we obviously, need Jordan Addison to an extent if we do have our Super Bowl aspirations, but to just go get a win in weeks 1 through 3, I think they'll be fine. And, you should expect a guy like Tai Felton to make an immediate impact. And I'll say this. I know we're going to talk about bold predictions on the second half of today's show, but, bold prediction I have, I bet you Tai Felton has a 75-plus yard game when Addison's suspended. But then you also got a guy like Rondale Moore. He killed the Vikings in his 2 games played against him so far. I'm sure Kevin O'Connell's looking at him like a guy he can use in a multitude of different ways, jet passes, wide receiver screens, just get him the football and just let him create in space. That's what he does best. I think he'll have some big-time plays when Addison's suspended, but even when Addison's there, I wouldn't be shocked if Rondale Moore just will randomly rip off a 40 or 50-yard touchdown. And then also Jalen Naylor. I understand Naylor is probably – not pleased with the Vikings taking Tai Felton and also picking up Rondale Moore. But when he is in the lineup, and especially this past season, he was a home run threat for the Vikes. Average almost 15 yards per catch. Found end zone 6 times this past season. Had some big-time plays and also some big-time moments. Think about that Week 17 game versus the Packers last year. First touchdown of the game was a 40-yard bomb to Jalen Nailor. Like, he has the speed to get open. So hopefully, even without Addison, those three can step up and make plays at the wide receiver 2 spot. But if you guys could show Jordan Addison some love, I'm sure he's not loving going through all this. So we'll type his tagline down below in the comments section. Free 3. Mainly mean this of free 3, get him the football, not the other way. But hey, if you guys could, give me a free 3 down below. All right, coming up next on the show, I just want to rip off 5 quick bold predictions I got for the Vikings next season. We'll dive into that here in just a second. But before we do so, if you guys want to get a J.J. McCarthy jersey today, we got a deal going on right now at chatsports.com/Vikings jersey. This is going to be an awesome jersey to wear on game days in U.S. Bank Stadium, wherever you're watching the Vikings play football this season. So if you guys want to get one, chatsports.com/Vikings jersey. All right, bold prediction number 1. And maybe this is a little wishful thinking here, but I do think the Vikings will have a top 5 rushing offense this season. Now, I'm putting a lot of faith in Kevin O'Connell as the reason why the Vikings weren't able to run the ball the last couple of years was just personnel. Shaky interior offensive line. Didn't feel like the running backs got the most out of every single carry. And I think with the combination of Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and the improved interior of Donovan Jackson, Will Fries, Ryan Kelly, like, you should be able to be a top 5 rushing offense. At bare minimum, they should be a top 10 rushing offense. Or else I'll be thinking about KOC differently. Because also, like, if the Vikings didn't have Jefferson and Addison on the outside and these teams can put 8-9 guys in the box, yeah, I wouldn't expect them to be a top 5 rushing offense. But the pressure should be off Jefferson and Addison, and it should be, allowing the Vikings to run the ball at an incredibly high clip this next season. But bold prediction number 2 for me. It's crazy. I'm going to say Justin Jefferson will only go for 1,200 yards. Right now his over-under is set at 1,250, so I'm going to say he just goes below that, and this has nothing to do with number 18. I think this will be more about the Vikings having a complete offense because, not specifically last year, but I think about that 2022 season where Jefferson, he carried that Vikings offense, especially in the fourth quarter. You could just take the Buffalo Bills game, for example. That 4th and 18 play, he goes, skies up, makes a heroic play on the football. Vikings obviously ended up winning that game, but that happened so much during that 2022 season. So I think it's going to be more of a complete offense, and him going for only 1,200 yards also kind of connects to bold prediction number 1 of them being a top 5 rushing offense. But also I think with TJ Hawkinson being in the fold for all 17 games this season, hopefully he'll obviously have more production there. So I'll say Jefferson only goes for 1,200 yards. But probably my favorite bold prediction here, when the regular season wraps up and we're heading into the playoffs, when everybody's talking about what defense is the best, I think everybody will say undisputed the Minnesota Vikings. Because I thought last year they had an A-level defense, but they only had B-minus level talent. I think this year, now with Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, and also these guys, just another year in the system, combine that with Brian Flores, I think this will be the undisputed best defense in the league. You can get to the quarterback. You're able to stop the run last year, and now you should have an improved secondary another year under Brian Flores. So I think they'll be undisputed the best unit in the league. And then also for our quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. Bold prediction number 4 here. I think people are sleeping on the dual threat ability of McCarthy a little bit. I was watching some of his highlights at Michigan when I was scripting this video out, and I was just shocked at, one, how fast he was. This guy's got he's got burners on him, and I think he will have a year where he rushes for over 500 yards. He'll find the end zone 5 times, and maybe it's not at the beginning of the season, but I think Kevin O'Connell will maybe have that wrinkle of the playbook in his back pocket where it's a big-time game. Maybe he'll save it for a playoff game, but watch out for the J.J. McCarthy read options this year. And then bold prediction number 5 kind of connects with number 3 as why I think they'll have the best defense in the league. I think Jonathan Greenard will lead the NFL in sacks. I think he could be in the conversation for DPOY at the end of the year. He is a stud. I still think he's one of the most underrated ball players in the NFL. I think if you just ask the common NFL fan, hey, who are your top 5 edge rushers? I feel like a lot of them will leave Jonathan Greenard off that list. It's not really a household name, but I think after this season, when that man, number 58, rips off about 19 sacks, everybody will know who Jonathan Greenard is. But I just gave you guys 5 bold predictions. You guys just got to give me one down below in the comments section. Give me a bold prediction for the Vikings next season. I'd appreciate it if you guys got creative with this. Think outside the box. I love going down to the comments section and seeing what you guys have to say. So give me a bold prediction for the Vikes next season, and also make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Closing in on 57,000 subs, which is unbelievable stuff. So I appreciate everybody watching. Enjoy your weekend. See y'all next time. Skol Vikes.